Cheaters come in all forms, shapes, sizes, and genders, and my reaction to them is always the same. Get off my screen. When it comes to cheaters on TV, I have little to no mercy. I'm not sitting there thinking, okay, I understand your point, because most of the cheaters I have found on TV really have a good point. They have been only counted one, that the first time she confessed about what she did, she was honest about it. And this is from Oscuro Deseo, where the lady cheats on her husband, who she believes is cheating on her with his assistant. The therapist she visits asks her, did you do it because your husband was cheating? And then she says, no, I didn't do it because I thought I was being cheated on. I did it because I wanted to. And I sat there being like, finally, a cheater that doesn't try to gaslight me. The reason I'm saying this is because other cheaters I've seen have excuses lined up. In Ozark, when the wife was cheating on the husband and she finally confronted him that she knows that he knew that she cheated, and when he confronted her as to all the ways she could have not done what she did, what kind of an answer is,
why would I say no, Marty? Why?
I don't know, ma'am. Because you're married? The hell? Why would that be the answer that will come? Oh my God. Wendy. Moving on to the next cheater who uses excuses. It's a telenovela and his name is Armando. His excuse for cheating was that his wife wasn't giving him the attention he wanted since they had their autistic child. Did you hear what I said? Should I repeat that? He was angry that she took care of the autistic child more than she took care of his needs.
Si me acuesto con estas viejas es por culpa tuya. Porque cambiaste conmigo. Desde que nació Fabiola, cambiaste conmigo.
Eso sí no te lo permito.
Which was a lie, by the way. He's just a serial cheater. He can't help himself. What I'm trying to get at with this is, a lot of times, what I see at the first instance is excuses. I never have the strength to even feel compassion for cheaters in TV until I watched the first and the second episode of Mistresses. The cheater here is Savannah, also known as Savvy, and she's married to Harry. Now, their relationship is rocky because they're trying to have a kid. And it shows that trying to have a kid is taking a toll on their marriage. Harry is, would I say he has anger issues? And Savannah is usually trying to calm him down, and their marriage is becoming difficult for Savannah. And she has this colleague. They have a flirty relationship, which is a red flag, whether your marriage is strong or not. And you may think I'm saying, oh, a friendly banter. No. I'm talking about flirty relationship. I'm talking about, let me see what you have on under that skirt. And she shows him. Yeah, that kind. Even if your marriage is 100% set, that is terrible. That is not a good friendly colleague relationship at all. They show a scene in episode 1 where Savannah is talking about the toll that making a baby has taken on her relationship or her marriage with Harry. And she is telling her sister how she misses when things were just things, when they would just have sex for the sake of having sex and not because they want to have a kid. She feels like now everything is just timed. Everything is just because of the kid, and they're losing fire in their relationship.
I also want to be treated like a sexual being, I miss that.
Can anyone see where this is going? Because at the end of episode 1, I believe, Dom makes a move and she bites like a fish and she cheats on Harry. We're going to take a break here. Just stop the story at that point for me to explain to you why I really have little mercy on cheaters apart from the excuses. Whenever a cheater is presented, there are two people involved and both of them are experiencing something. In My Mister, we see Dong-hoon's wife cheat on him with his boss, and when she finds out that he knows, she goes on her knees, asks for forgiveness, and then as they're talking about it, she starts mentioning how she always felt like he didn't put her first, that it was his family and everyone else before it was her. And I just sat there looking at her face and going like, I love how you put him first when you decided to sleep with his boss. And nobody come defend her to me right now. I'm not saying I don't understand her point. I'm just saying the excuse didn't hit. I'm sorry. Whatever detachment you're feeling, he feels. It's not fair that you have that as an excuse when he also has that as an excuse. Before he found out about the cheating, she was horrible to him. Isn't that also distance? Didn't he also feel that? Was there a point when he thought to himself, didn't you also have an excuse to cheat? But it was her who decided to cheat. So whatever reason drove you, I understand the loneliness, but understand that the other person also was in that loneliness and didn't do what you did. Back to the mistresses. She is horrified about what she's done. And she was the only one, I think, who didn't try to push this as because of all the things she was going through, she just slept with Dom. The reason that she is almost forgivable is because of the guilt that she feels and how she handles that guilt. She doesn't try to place it on Harry. Her first intention is to tell Harry. Now, I don't know if she would have told him if her friend hadn't told her to think about it first, which, by the way, for a therapist, what kind of advice is that?
I don't think I can wait any longer. It's just gonna get worse.
I just think it's important that you understand why you did what you did before you talk to Harry about it.
Her friend advised her to not tell Harry until she figured out why she cheated. Because are you sure it won't happen again? But I don't understand. What does figuring out why you do it stop you from telling the person that you're married to that you did it? The reason I'm saying this is because it gave Savannah time to not tell Harry. And time turned into more time and into more time and into more time. And Savannah was pregnant. That's how long it took for her to tell Harry. It took getting pregnant. And she decides it's about time to tell him because Harry figures out that she's pregnant. It's not easy when you've made a mistake to accept and confess it because you already see the lights flashing before your eyes. You see that they can leave you and it's something you may not be able to fix. But where she starts losing me as a cheater is when she tells Harry. She tells Harry that she's pregnant and the child may not be his.
I'm pregnant, Harry. But it might not be yours.
Harry is upset. Harry leaves. Her therapist friend now gives her another advice, which is more sensible, where she says to give Harry time to process what she has told him because she has been dealing with the guilt for months or weeks, I have forgotten. But Harry had just now found out. So she should give him time to figure out how he wants to handle things. She doesn't give him time. This is where she starts to lose me. She tries to force Harry into telling her how he feels, into either forgiving her or making a decision. He's taking too long for her. And I just sit there like, this is not about you anymore. You've confessed. Now he is processing your confession. Even if it takes him 6 months. Why is it that you are pissed he's not doing it on your time? Her therapist friend was correct. Even as she was telling Harry, she still hadn't figured out why she cheated. But Harry taking his time and being angry was too much for her. She wanted him to choose then and there. Can you forgive me or can you not? She now started to do the thing where you project, where she goes to Harry's restaurant to speak to him and sees him interacting with the receptionist, or she speaks to the receptionist and begins to believe that Harry might be cheating on her with the receptionist.
That he is sleeping with his slutty hostess.
He actually told you he slept with her?
No, but it was so obvious.
By the way, Harry was not. The receptionist even tried to seduce Harry when she realized that there was something going wrong, and even then, Harry reminded her that I am married.
But I can't, I'm married.
Yeah, but
I'm still married.
This is where I always say that argument never holds. When you say you are heartbroken or you are sad and then you cheat, like the other person is also heartbroken and sad, but they have the decency to respect you. What kind of an argument is that? So Savannah corners Harry and forces him to try and tell her what he wants to do. And he has no idea. It's now his turn to try and figure out what he wants to do with the marriage. If it's divorce, if it's raise a child that potentially might not be his. Harry just tells her he doesn't know. He wants nothing to do with this right now. He wants to think. And Savannah understands, and Harry asks for distance and Savannah gives it to him. Distance day 1, distance day 2, weakness here, weakness there. Harry still doesn't know what he wants to do and Savannah is getting anxious to the point she starts to consider divorce on her own behalf. And she starts to look at a relationship with Dom. Bear in mind, as I'm saying this, Harry has not told her he wants a divorce. She thinks it's the only outcome at this point because Harry is so angry. But Harry himself, the man that was cheated on, has not said so. He just says that he's hurt and he needs time to figure things out. Savannah, also known as Savvy, has a talk with her group of friends as to how Dom has been so supportive about the child. He's been helpful, he's been this and that, and she has to admit that, before she cheated, she did find him attractive.
Joss, I always had feelings for him. That's how this whole thing started.
I just sat there with my tongue in my cheek and thinking to myself, I was so close to supporting this woman. As in, I was actually, whenever someone cheats in a movie, once the partner that gets cheated on has anybody that I think would be good for them, I immediately go to, yep, I hope they end with that person. If you haven't watched the show, the person that was the closest to Harry, where I could potentially see a relationship, was Joss, who, if I've not mentioned her yet, Joss is Savannah's sister, and she and Harry have the best relationship. Not romantic, just friends, relying on each other and respecting each other, and they're so bonded to each other. She was the only option. But because of Savannah's guilt and how she felt she had wronged Harry, and how their relationship was shown before she cheated, I wasn't quick to say, oh, let him get with Joss or anyone else. I actually thought that they could work their relationship out because there was nothing else wrong at that moment except for the cheating. But after she told Harry, Savvy has an issue where if something is not going her way, she starts seeing the other options that suit her. Because she sat there and said,
do I not give something with Dom a chance? Just because of the way it started?
What do you mean, should I not give a relationship with Dom a chance because of how it started? You are still married. She couldn't even wait for Harry himself to say, I want a divorce. She was already anticipating it and already anticipating moving on.
If it's Dom's, I'm not going to be in a relationship with him.
Later.
Do I not give something with Dom a chance? Just because of the way it started?
Now, I know Harry's attitude wasn't helping stuff, how he was being distant, being more angry, talking about separating bills, something that she would have to start handling some things in the house by herself. But this is someone you cheated on. They're going to lash out, some anyway. Not everybody reacts the same way, but he just wanted distance and he was angry. There was a leak in the house. And she told Harry, because Harry never allowed her to fix anything around the house. He was always doing it. So when she noticed the leak, she tried to tell him that there's a leak. Can you come help me fix it? He said something rude and she decided to try to do it herself. It didn't work out. But then Dominic came around the house. I think she started talking to Dom. Then she went out. They went to shop for things for the baby. And she came back into the house. And guess who had come to try and fix the leak while she was not in the house, just so she is fine? Yeah, it was Harry. And then she tried to explain to him that, oh, it's not what you think. What do you mean it's not what I think? Yeah, I get it. He might also be the second dad. But why is he entering my house? Savannah, why? Then she sends Dom away. But then because of Harry's distance and Dom's insistence, she starts to imagine, I want a man who wants my baby and me. Yeah, so why can't I give Dom a chance? And I just, But at the end of season 1, she kind of decides that whether it's Dom or Harry, it doesn't matter. What matters most is that she loves this child and she wants a life for the child. Not a romantic life for her alone, but a life that the child can be happy in. So she wants to know. She's ready to know who the father is. By the way, she had the test just sitting in her sister's drawer while she finally figured out who wanted to be with her. She wanted to know if Harry wanted this relationship first or she was panicked. For whatever reason, she didn't read the test as soon as she got it. She just couldn't bear that pressure.
This is the results to my paternity test.
You want to open it now?
There's no good answer in there.
Harry deserved to know, maybe to push his decision, but she didn't want his decision to be made on if the child was his. She wanted it to be made on if he wants to be with her first. I don't even know how to explain it. You were so right there. You were almost this is crazy to say, but you were almost the best cheater. Oh my God. This is a very weird video. She was almost the best cheater I've ever seen. Someone who felt guilty. someone who wanted to fix the relationship, who didn't want to put blame on the partner, saying that you pushed me to this, who accepted that she pushed herself into it and was just in a bad position all around. But then as soon as she told what she had done, she started losing points left and right. Not because he couldn't respond the way she wanted, because he was not answering as fast as she wanted. She's like, what is your time frame? Can you forgive me or can you not? Why? And by the way, this is just a skip into season 2. She loses the child, unfortunately. An accident, crash. And before the crash, after the crash, Harry has found out the child is not his. And she still has a child at this point. Harry takes her hand. Harry sits by her bedside as she's broken, bleeding, and tells her that, you know what, I love you. I don't care if he's the father. I don't care that you cheated. I forgive you. I want you to fight and come back so we can be a family. That's what he says at the end of season 1. But at the beginning of season 2, we find out that unfortunately she lost a child and she is now dating Dom. Even during the divorce, Savvy had not learned her lesson. Harry didn't want to see her. After she got better, he didn't want to speak to her. He was speaking through her sister and through their friends, just anyone. He wanted to sell the house. He lost his business, I think, and he just wanted to not see her face. But she was angry that he was choosing that because to her, he was behaving like a child. It's our house you're trying to sell. Why can't you at least try and be an adult and look at me? I don't know. Maybe because...
Then you can humiliate me not once, but twice. Twice!
The audacity of her to say...
That doesn't negate our life together.
Of course it does.
That. Savvy.
You cheated on me and I forgave you and you still chose him. I chose you.
It's just, how did she go so far off? Is it because she was keeping it a secret? But when she wasn't, she just felt entitled to forgiveness? I don't understand. You cheated on him. He forgave you, but you still went back to Dom, and you're doing the same thing again. He doesn't want to see you, but you're angry that he doesn't want to see you because he's acting like a child. Savvy doesn't know how not to be in control of a situation. And I know there's some people that are like that, control freaks, but the level she's at is that she doesn't even see how it affects other people. Harry can't react the same way you want him to react, because if you were in his spot, you probably would do the same thing. But she chooses to go back to Dom and then gets pissed when Harry doesn't want to speak to her. And then she finds someone else that puts her life in danger. She goes on a bike, and in that moment where the guy is speeding down the road, she kind of thinks to Harry. And she tells her friend this, the therapist.
And I flashed on Harry.
And this means to you what?
I don't know.
She didn't think about her life after Harry. She didn't think about her life with Dom. She thought about her life with Harry. In that moment when she was afraid for her life. And it made her realize that in the hospital, when he sat on her bed to confess to her that he didn't care about what she did, he will forgive her. It wasn't guilt. It was clarity. What did you think, Savannah? You were dying. It was like him getting an insight to life without you, and he decided that he wanted to forgive you, but because you decided he couldn't mean it, you moved on to Dom.
You only chose me because you thought I might die. You had months to take me back.
And now that she's understanding that she loves him, she wants to see if Harry still feels the same. This lady lost all her points with me. At this point, her friend is even confused as to what do you want to find out, if there's something you can still pull out of this man. And she says, just test the water, see what's in there. Savannah, nothing. Nothing. Because spoiler, at this point, Harry had moved on. I won't say with who, but Harry had moved on to someone else. By the point she's having this realization, Savannah's character really could have been the first reasonable, maybe sympathetic is the word. She could have been the first sympathetic cheater that I ever encountered on TV. Because she wasn't honest, like the lady I mentioned the first time. Thank God. She wasn't part of what she did. Thank God. She actually felt guilt for what she did. She felt sorry for what she did. And she wanted to make things right. She just didn't know how. Because it's nothing they've ever experienced before. And she was afraid that Harry was going to leave her. She wasn't arrogant like Armando, who was blaming his wife and while still having affairs in the process. She wasn't like Wendy, who couldn't see a reason why she shouldn't have cheated. She wasn't like the lady from My Mister who was claiming heartbreak was what sent her into cheating. She understood that she made a mistake. But as soon as she confessed, it became clear that she actually was like all of those people, just in a different way. Because she didn't see a reason why she couldn't be forgiven or abandoned on time. Like, Harry, make a decision. You're wasting my time. Savannah really was one of the people I thought could really be forgiven for cheating, but she lost it. And that is essentially what this entire video is about. We're going to have a longer video. And I know this is already long, but I was making two videos, one on mistresses and another on cheaters in general. And we're going to have another video where I compile the list of cheaters I've seen on TV and we just talk about them. Some. Leave a comment about what you think about the video. If you've watched Mistresses, do you agree or do you not? If you haven't watched Mistresses, do you still agree or do you not? And I will see you on the next one.